See if I can make this video not be angry. So I've been angry for 2 solid days about not just trying to communicate with the people I've been trying to communicate with and seen clear examples that people literally can't hear me when I'm talking to them. Like they're not, the words aren't registering. I'm sure they're thinking about stuff. Maybe I'm like, hey, I want this and this and this. And their brain's still on the first thing I said. And now I'm going to town because I've laid it all out. But the thing is, I'm talking specifically about things that they're familiar with. I'm talking about their wheelhouse. So I was angry for a couple of days. And then last night, I just had this thought like, man, I can't get any of these people to give me an answer. I can't get them to answer their phones. They don't respond to my emails. They don't respond to my texts. I sent a couple companies messages, all those messages and phone calls, and talked to people. And I just put like copies of the information that I need from them, even in a message on their Facebook account, their website, their Facebook, their texting, their phone. I did everything but mail them a letter. So last night I was like, I got so upset at myself and at life last night that this morning I woke up and I was sick to my stomach. I almost threw up. I stress cough when I get stressed. Which messes me up really bad when it happens. It hasn't happened since I left my job and I retired from my career. And so I called the shed company they have a shed that I like, but it's like 100 miles away. And I'm talking to him about it. And he's like, yeah, we could sell that to you, ship it out there. It's this much a mile. And I'm like, oh. And then he's like, but we could actually build it out by you. So it'll be brand new. It'll be free because we could build it close enough to you that it's within the free delivery range. They could spray insulate the bottom, which is something I didn't even think about. And I'm like, well, what about put insulation in there? He's like, well, yeah, we could spray it if you want, but it's really expensive. We have wood for walls that you could buy. He's like, but I recommend you just put like battened insulation in there and then put the walls on yourself, which I thought was cool, man. You could just say like, oh yeah, we'll spray the inside for, $28 a square foot or whatever, he saved me money or just gave me good advice. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how long does it take and that kind of thing. And, there's no hurry really. And as I was getting off the phone, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of having difficulty getting the land clearing and gravel thing sorted out. And he's like, oh yeah, my dad does that. I'm like, can I have your dad's number? And he's like, sure. So like, it was just suddenly like all that frustration that I was having and building up, 5-minute, 10-minute phone call, just not only did this guy seem nice, he could hear me, he responded appropriately to everything I said, he could tell what I was saying, and I could tell what he was saying, and if his father is familiar with this kind of job, I could really just say like, this is when the shed will be ready. Can you get the project done just before the shed's ready? And he's like, well, what do you want done? And I'm like, well, what I want done is that shed that your son is there, I want a gravel base underneath it. And like, I feel like they would like then communicate like, well, what do we need for like truck access in there? So that would make where the position is. And do we need like a driveway or do we need the pad? Or is it, I just feel like that two different people familiar with each other and familiar with each other's business would just mesh so much better. God damn. I feel so relieved. I had an epiphany a couple days ago. It's nothing. I want to say like I want to say something like this is so deep, but I'm like it's not deep, but like it just like it hit me at a time where I felt like I needed to hear it. It was basically just like focus on a small thing and just focus on it. That was my epiphany. I was walking around my backyard. My backyard is it's huge. I have not been taking care of it. it is almost in my mind insurmountable, the amount of work that needs to take place. And I had this kind of like epiphany before that where I was just like, just get to a spot, like a little 4 foot by 4 foot area, and I don't know if there's weeds there, pull some weeds. You know, if there's some wood there that needs to be picked up, pick up the wood. Like if there's a bush there that's all crazy, trim it. Just do that 4 foot, just do that spot. Don't look around at everything and think you have to do everything. And frankly, I don't mind paying somebody to come back and do my yard, like especially if it would just be done and it would look nice. And if I'm going to sell my house, I want it to be done and look nice. And I don't want to be out there thinking like, oh, I could have done better. I could have done better. Like, but I have like 6, 7 dudes run back in there, run around like crazy for 45 minutes and then run out. I've seen those dudes. That's what they do. I feel so much better. You know, I feel like when I got sick about however many years ago, I feel like it messed up my inner circuitry. I don't remember being swayed on the winds and seas of tides of emotion and happenstance and circumstance. I wouldn't call me like a brave person, but I've never let things that scare me, intimidate me, or whatnot. I've never felt overwhelmed by that kind of stuff. I've often felt like, oh man, oh boy, but not like heart pounding, coughing, that kind of thing. I hope I could fix my circuits. I don't want to be like this forever. But frankly, I feel so much better as a person this year compared to how I was doing last year. And the year before, it was worse. And the year before that, it was worse. And the year before that, it was worse. Like, I was in the pit. I could look back in time and see where I was in the pit. And it was just dark in there. And there was no up or down. So there was no direction out at that point in time. And like, you know, doctors giving me drugs and my work giving me sometimes good information, sometimes bad information. My doctor giving me sometimes good information, sometimes bad information. Like all while I'm barely able to cope with just brushing my teeth, you know, like eating. All that crazy stuff was happening while I was barely functional, and I still had to be responsible for everything. So I think I've come like a million miles. So like, I'm not gonna like wish that like, oh please, oh please, oh please, will I be completely mentally, emotionally stable, happy, and, you know, internally strong, you know, not blown casually by the winds of anxiety. You know, next year would be, if that happens next year, that'd be great. I'm not in a hurry. I just want it to happen. I kind of like a lot of the old me back. Not all of the old me. I haven't always been great.